So as you see right here, we have a reunion of sorts as we're celebrating LIN-SANITY. And Jeremy Lin, kind enough to join us from Beijing. And teammates, so let's go around the horn here. 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙬𝘖. We're all over the world, by the way, because not only is Jeremy in Beijing, but there's 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙬𝘖, and he is in Tel Aviv. He's also waiting to play just like Jeremy is in their respective leagues. LANDRY Fields, waiting to see if the NBA will come back as he's working with the Spurs, the general manager of their G League team. And Steve Novak, who is really waiting to see, as he is a broadcaster with the Milwaukee Bucks in Wisconsin, waiting to see if the Bucks can get back because they're going to try to win a championship. When was the last time you can remember all being together?
Just before exit interviews in about 2011, where we hugged each other and we said, I'll see you in a month. I'll see you in 2 months in the gym. And then we never saw each other ever again. No.
The last time I saw Novak was when the Bucks and the Raptors, when we played in the playoffs last year. And so, I mean, I saw him 6 straight games. And he was telling me how easy of a series that it was going to be, especially when they're up 2-0. And then I haven't seen him since.
Hey, I talked a little bit of trash. I said there's no way the Raptors are going to beat the Bucks. The Bucks got Giannis. He's the MVP. And then I think the next time I heard from Jeremy, I think he just sent me a picture of himself in the championship parade, drinking champagne and throwing confetti. So that was the last I saw of Jeremy. Apparently,
at the camera too, right?
What's that?
It was at the camera too. Like, this is for you, Steve, in your face.
Yeah, that was the exact video he actually sent me. So it's actually really nice to see you again, Jer. It's good to see you're well.
Let's catch up with each one of you and what you've been doing, as I just did a brief intro. But Jeremy, still playing basketball. You're out in Beijing and waiting to see when that season will continue for you. And you were telling us before we started the broadcast that this has been a very long preseason, it feels like, and a lot of training camp, which I'm sure is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, kind of what I was saying earlier. At first I was like, oh man, we're just, you know, by the time, if the season ends up starting in July, I'll have basically been just practicing with the team for 3.5 months. And I was like, man, that's a lot of time with no game. But then I was like, you know, thinking about it, I was like, man, so many people would love to be on the court. And I think we're all kind of figuring out, like, basketball is just like, it's such a luxury at this point. And so, you know, I try to remind myself of that every single day.
So, 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙬𝘖, you're waiting for your season to begin as well. And what has that been like?
Yeah. We so here in Tel Aviv, we started the year off here. We played in the Euro League and also in the Israeli League. And so right now, once COVID-19 hit, we basically shut down. You know, so far we're just waiting around. We can't really use the facility too much. We can't train unless you have your own situation set up. But we're just kind of taking it easy, waiting till this to pass over.
LANDRY, you working with the Spurs for the G League, and there's a lot of exciting stuff happening with the G League, even though there's no games being played right now. But also the NBA is in a standstill. And you know, for you, you've been scouting for a couple of years, but you have a great opportunity right now with that organization.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as you mentioned, was scouting before I moved to San Antonio just this past year. I was promoted to general manager of our Austin squad, and it's been a lot of fun. Front office was always something that I thought I would get into post-career. I even dabbled in some broadcasting or some TV stuff. But when the Spurs called, you know, that was an opportunity I didn't want to miss. So scouted for about 3 years and then moved my family to San Antonio, and now we're here. And great organization, great people, love being here.
And Steve, for you, it's probably great anticipation and hoping that a season will continue or at least finish, because the Bucks were the best team in the league, and we're looking to move on for a championship, which, by the way, is an anniversary today for the Bucks of their first championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Jeremy was kind of just saying, I think we all realize that there's something bigger going on, but there's no doubt in Milwaukee, I think everybody's a little bit sick right now, just because, like you said, it's been, you know, since early 70s when the Bucks had Kareem and they won their last championship, and Giannis probably in his second year of being an MVP, and the Bucks playing as well as they were. It's like Milwaukee could kind of feel the the energy. They were headed towards a championship, or obviously the Lakers in the finals. And I think everybody's kind of sick that the season is feeling like this. And it sounds like most teams that are out of the playoffs are kind of, I heard Steve Kerr kind of say, look, we feel like the season's probably over. But for teams like the Bucks right now, they're definitely staying as ready as they can.
Well, it's fun having all you guys together. And obviously this week on MSG was celebrating LIN-SANITY and something that you guys all got to live and see, right, happen in front of you. But if I can ask each one of you just on what you remember from when it all happened in that season, and in the context of where you guys were as a team that season before Jeremy had his opportunity to play. And I'll start with Landry because you know I'm asking it. Where's the couch? And how did that whole thing happen?
Man, I blew it. This is what happened. It was a rented furniture. And at the time, you know, I didn't have the foresight to be like, you know what, I'm just going to hang on to this and I'll pay them for it. And then we'll see what comes of it later on.
But what is the legend of the couch, Jeremy? I mean, was it just one night that just like, did it turn into a bigger story than it really was? Were you amazed by even something as simple as he slept on his teammate's couch became such a big part of your story at the beginning?
Definitely, it took on a life of its own. I mean, in all honesty, my heart goes out to my brother's couch because I spent, 5 weeks and 6 days on that one, and I spent one night on Landry's couch, and now Landry's couch gets all the love. And so, and Landry's couch was a lot less a lot less comfortable too, and it was just this tiny little couch. I barely got, my feet were off on one end, my head was off the other end, and I was already in like fetal position. But no, that was kind of, that encapsulates just how crazy the season was. It was like, I just need a place to stay. Landry, can I just please crash on your couch? And he was like, didn't even think about it. He's like, no problem, I got you. And he's like, do you need anything? And at that time we were, about to play the third game of a back-to-back-to-back. So, I mean, I think, it definitely blew up into something bigger. I mean, you would think Stanford, Harvard, we both, like, I could have split the couch with you 50-50. We could have, there's so many options, and we ended up we just let you return it for nothing. And so, we definitely missed out on that.
That's it. That's incredible. We've got another iconic game is at Toronto. Here's Jeremy, and they go nuts when they introduce him. And then at the end of the game, as we all know, clear it out. I mean, this is basically mano a mano. I'm taking this shot. I'm winning this game. Knocks it down. And the entire building is celebrating their home team lost, and they're going nuts. And Amari, you've been a star a long time in the NBA. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, I haven't, man. Listen, I was shocked and amazed by what was happening. Because again, that was my first game back, and when we got to Toronto game night, the fans were already on edge. Like everyone, the energy was already like something's going on here. So I felt the energy shift, my first game back. And so throughout the game, I'm watching Jeremy work. Because me, I'm like, so I'm trying to manage the game and see what's happening within the game so the stress can be flowed properly. I'm watching Jeremy work, and I'm like, hold on. So they ain't going to work like that? The three-point shot, hesitation with the floater. I'm talking about the all-around complete game is what I was watching. And so I'm shocked. We get down to the last play, and I saw the confidence in Jalen when he had the rock at the top of the key. And all the guys are somewhat just kind of fanning the guys back like, no, stay home. So when I noticed that, I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna hit this one. You know what I'm saying? Because to have confidence enough to know, like, listen, I've been working all game, and now it's game time. All the fans are on the edge of their seats. It's loud. I mean, it was one of those moments, and when he hit the shot, I was like, I was one of the fans for a second. I had to calm down, like, whoa, man, this is incredible. I was loving every minute of it, believe me.
And that's what makes it such a phenomenon that even today, again, Knick fans always talk about this time. Thought here from each of you, just about how a moment like this, and there's a saying that the Knicks use is, once a Knick, always a Knick. And I wonder for each of you if that holds for all of you. Landry, starting with you.
I just remember Jeremy being so grounded in this particular time period, in a time where if it was me and it was LAN-SANITY, like there would just be, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd be running all over the place. But for Jeremy to keep his cool, to remain as even-keeled as he did during that time, was something very special for me in particular to watch.
Steve?
Yeah, I agree with Landry. I think, when we look back at that year, we didn't win a championship. And I think, most of the teams that you look back, whether like Landry mentioned, it's a high school team or a college team or in the NBA, that you're close with all the guys and you remember so vividly, is usually because, you won a championship and it was a really special team. We didn't win a championship, but we went through something that was bonding for all of us. It really was, I think, a special experience for everybody that was involved in it. So I think it really is cool to look back for people to watch, including ourselves. And
Stab, what did that time mean for you?
Well, this whole time of me like now analyzing, looking back on it, it was a special moment. With a lot of good teams, a lot of fun teams you play with. Everyone gets along. There's selfishness on the team. We all are happy for everyone's success, right? So when you have that energy within the team, it creates this type of formula where it's like we all are just enjoying life. It's like we're basketball players, but we're enjoying it. Like it's so much fun. And that moment in time for me with the Knicks, during that moment, that stretch, was so much fun for me because I enjoyed watching all the young players and even Novak. I'm watching all the players succeed and enjoy doing what they do, and we're winning. That's always the ideal situation, and we're winning. So it was a special moment for me for sure.
Jeremy, I'll let you get the last word here with your guys.
It's kind of a little bit awkward for me to just have a week or a stretch named after me, especially, growing up in team sports. I think everyone on the team understands. I'm not just saying this to be like PC, but it's just like there's so much that goes into a team. And it's tough for it to be named after one person. Unless you're like Jordan, then it's cool because he's Jordan. But I think for me, it's like there's no better way to really enjoy this week than with my teammates. And